Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk? I'm your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 94, which means we got 6 more, man. 6 more before we get to episode 100. And like I keep saying, man, y'all stay tuned. I'm trying to plan something big for everyone that's been a part of the podcast. I'm gonna try to get everybody back together for a big, like a reunion or something like that, man. Like a dad reunion or something. So y'all continue to stay tuned, man. That's what I'm planning. Probably for that first or second month of next year. We're gonna try to get that popping. So y'all continue to stay tuned to that. Always gotta get this out the way. If you support the podcast, please go to YouTube and type in Dad Can We Talk. Subscribe to the channel. I know y'all probably think, people always saying that on videos, but it literally helps the podcast grow. The more subscribers you have, the more people view the video, the more people comment the video. It sends these things to the algorithms to let them know that there's something going on over there. Like they always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's like the smoke, you know. When y'all keep the traffic and all that stuff going with the podcast, that will help it become more visible. I'm a small man in the game, you know. That's just being real. I ain't got a whole bunch of marketing dollars and stuff behind me. I ain't no celebrity. I ain't none of that. So for me, all of that type of stuff helps the podcast to grow. You know, maybe one day I will have the money to be able to put it behind the podcast and all that, but I ain't got all that right now. So I need y'all help. You know, subscribe to the podcast. Continue to share on social media. If you listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe there. Leave reviews. All that type of stuff helps to let them know that's the smoke, that's the signal. You're sending a signal to the algorithms to let them know that there's something going on over there, and they'll start to put it in more people's faces. So I need y'all help there. But with all that being said, man, I'm sitting here today with the guy who reached out to me a little over a year ago, man, and bro just expressed he was like, hey, listen, bro, I got something to say too, cuz, like, for real. And, you know, I ain't know bro like that, but I was like, shoot, that's what's up. If a man want to come on the podcast, I'm going to get him up on here. And, you know, I just kind of been following him over the last year, and I've been busy, been doing this, doing that. So this is finally a time where we can get together and sit down and chop it up, man. And y'all know I'm all for this here. You know, I love to run my mouth and I love to know about people, man. So that's what we finna do today. You hear what I'm saying? So episode 94 is up on the way, man. Let's get it. So y'all, welcome to the show, my man Brandon. How you feeling, my boy?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. This I appreciate the opportunity. It's something I put out there, you know, along with everything that I have going on myself, and just to see that it's happening and be in the moment is I feel good. I'm on the right path, and I know this how important this situation is. So I'm glad to be here, bro. Let's help this thing grow, man.
Let's get it, man. I gotta let y'all know, this man make the rawest burgers in town.
Man, I got a big homie. He cut my head on. You say that at Max.
Yeah, man, my dog burgers be so fire. He got a food truck. He be posting up, you know, late night for right now. Food with Attitude. Please go find that on social media and follow my dog for the food, because it's fire. It got attitude, for real. So
real good food.
Y'all, please go check my dog out.
You can also you can add me on Facebook, Brandon T. Bolton. That's how you can follow a lot of everything too, until we get that Food with Attitude page all the way working. But
yes,
either or.
Yeah. So man, we're gonna keep it how we always do it, man. We're gonna start it off with the same first question. So my first question to you is, what's your relationship like with your dad? Talk about that.
Oh man. So this is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to come on this show and why I am the father that I am. My relationship with my dad, man, it's real good. We have a great relationship. We talk damn near every day, and he's a big hip hop head, so we talk about everything from music to Ice Cube to the '80s. So we have a close connection. It got closer through the years, but when I was 4 years old, you know, my dad, he got convicted of a crime, and he spent the next 15 years of my life in prison. You know what I'm saying? So if you can imagine, from 4 to 19, without my dad, just everything that came across my path, certain men I might have looked up to, this and that. But even between all of that, my grandfather still made sure he took me to go see him all the time. So I've always went to go see him. He would talk with me at the end of the visit. Like, we would have a visit with everybody, and then at the end, everybody would respect that, you know, we're separated. So they would let me and him go off, and then he would kind of give me little gems about life and all that. Because of course I would probably believe that, like, he looking at whatever position he in, and he like, my son gotta go back out there. So he always is trying to just like sharpen me up. But he got out when I was 19, man, and ever since then he been one of those dudes who's like, I spend all that time away from you. I don't care if you're 40. You need some money or whatever you need, I got you there. So we very good, man. I love my dad, man. It's a unique relationship. And I love that. And he do music. He always ghost wrote for me and stuff like that. So we got crazy. It's crazy. It's a real father-son relationship.
Yeah. And see, that's the type of stuff I don't think we talk about enough. We don't talk about the good relationships that black men have with their dads. You know, the only thing that ever seems to get mentioned is when the dad ain't there.
Right.
You know, and how not having a dad there affected us and all the other stuff. But it's like, man, there's so many guys that, like you say, he missed those years of your life, but he got out right back on track. Like, let me make sure I do this. And people try to paint this picture, I think, at times that black dads, you know, don't care about the kids and all this. But like, I that's not something that I see. You know, even with my own dad. You know, my dad, as much as he wasn't there, I never got the feeling that my dad didn't love me. Because every time I did talk with him, it was just always like, man, son, I miss you, I love you, you know. And as I've gotten older now, you know, me and him had talks about that type of stuff. You know, he had his problems with addiction and stuff, and he just used to always tell me, I just ain't never want you to see me in that state. So I'd rather stay away from my kids rather than let y'all see me like that. Because he just always, like, you know, I was embarrassed to let you know that I was doing what I was doing, and I always respected it, you know. And like I said, every time we saw each other, it was love. So there are dads out there, black dads, that love their children, care for their children, you know, and sometimes they care enough to, might I say, separate from us sometimes. And sometimes that might be the best thing. I thought, you know, I want to ask you this. I'll never ask this question on her, but I think I want to pose this to you. What would you say is worse? A toxic parent or an absent parent?
Woo. Man, I ain't, without spending too much time thinking about it, man, I would say that toxic parent, man, because that absent parent, I think a child probably will have his little feelings or whatever about the absence, but in that gap, you know, there's no telling who could step in or what kind of male figure or what kind of parent figure that can kind of, and then if that parent absent, they don't really know what's what, or you know what I'm saying. But that toxic parent for a kid to look up to, cause you know when we kid, I've seen situations where you know how it is with a kid, a parent, and I've seen some situations where the parent can't do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? So in that type of situation, I feel like a kid will probably cling to that toxic parent or learn things that they're not supposed to learn. You know, that's a tricky one though, bro.
Real talk. But I like that you say that, because I think like the presence, a parent that's present but they're toxic, sometimes you would probably rather that parent be absent for real, because it's like it's some people like I got homeboys right now, they know who I am, they know what I'm about or whatever, and they tell me, I know what you about, bruh, and I know what you got going on, and because I love you, I'd rather stay away from you, bruh.
Right.
Because I don't want you getting caught up in my nonsense, bro. Yeah. And I respect that, and I just be like, I ain't gonna fight you on that, bro. You know, I still love you, but I got homeboys who really like that, like, bro, like, I don't want you getting caught up in my nonsense.
And then, if I can speak on that absent parent thing, man, I feel like since I became a dad, I've learned, bro, that your mental health, man, is so important, bro, in raising kids. And sometime in life, bro, even before this person had kids or whatever, you never know, like, what that person may have been through, or what kind of traumas, or what kind of bad habits. And yeah, people say, you know, when you get your kid, you're supposed to be able to straight, but it ain't always that easy. Yeah. You know, I got a kid, I can throw away all my, nah, bro, it's psychological stuff, you know. So sometimes, that's like what you said with your dad, bro. You might have to figure out, okay, let me see how to say it. Not fix myself, but man, let me figure out what's going on with me.
Yeah.
For I, you know, I can't really explain, but I can kind of understand that as far as some absent parents, you know. Because if you got something that you trying to figure out, or it ain't really no good, then okay, if I can't just snap my fingers and change this about myself, and it's gonna take growth and all this type of stuff, then in between me and what I do, show my child all this, or affect my child more with my craziness that I'm trying to figure out.
It's one of them hard ones, bro, because the other parent, you know, if you're in a position where you can help the other parent, help. And it's just like, you just never know, man. You just, it's so much in that. You know, but I just think, like, I grew up with the absent dad, but I seen friends that grew up with a mom and a dad in the house, but the parents was toxic.
Right.
And they picked up so much from what they saw in their house, and it just wasn't a healthy thing, bro. So it's like, at least when I did see my dad, it was love, you know, and it was, you know, people always say, man, make sure you're doing right in school. You know, even when he was in prison, he was writing me letters, you know, like, man, son, you know, make sure you're doing right in school. And it's like, some people would say, well, how you gonna say that? He ain't even being the example of that. But it's like, at least he telling me,
right?
You know, I don't see what my pop's doing. All I know is
how someone got like some of these similar, like, in our community, bro, like similar stories of just dad in prison, like that. It's just, how did it get like this, man? And that's why I feel like
that's how they create what
thing, bro. Yeah,
bro. Real. That's real. So within that, from 4 to 19, would you say that there were any other men in your life that you know, positive male role models that you were able to look up to?
Yeah, man. A lot of them didn't even know it at the time. You know what I'm saying? That they were feeling a void from it. Some of them, I still have football coaches from Little League that I call on Father's Day to this day. Or sometimes I just text them out the blue and be like, bro, you know, when I was young, man, you don't know, but you provided like a great role model for me, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, football coaches. I spent time in places like little detention centers and programs and stuff like that. But I've always met like men in there who were kind of what I would take to, or they would take to me and teach me certain little things. But yeah, a lot of positive male role models, man. And my grandfather, number one though. That's the realest person I know. He stepped in. He knew that his child made a mistake, and his child had to spend the next 15 years in prison. So my grandfather stepped in, and he taught me everything from how to dribble a basketball with my left hand, to a firm handshake, look a man in his eye. He taught me all of that in the absence of his son. So, but yeah, I was blessed to be able to have that. Yeah,
that's real. So, with you know, the relationship you had with your dad, through all the other role models you had, how would you say now, you know, now that you're a father, how has those things influenced the way that you parent your own children?
Oh man, it gave me a big bag of goodies, big bag of gems.
Yeah.
So even in the beginning, you know, it's certain things I knew to sprinkle on them or just to say, just be like start building them up or start teaching them certain stuff to where it was like I said, I knew what my grandfather did for me, as far as spending time or teaching them how to throw something, all that type of stuff. So it made it real easy for me because I had those amazing guys in front of me to like. If you see my son, bro, you'll be like, dang, this little dude, he want to put a polo hat on that bad, cause he wanna. But it made everything way more easy on me, bro, because it made me want to be them, but to mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was absent, so I was like, I want to make my son feel super special. Like, yo, you ain't got to be a football coach or not. Your dad right here with you the whole time. So
that's real.
It helped me a lot, man.
That's real. What was that thought, you know, that first thought you had, you know, when you first heard those words, bro, you know, you're about to be a daddy. Like, what was that thought, that first thought, that feeling, like, what was that experience like?
To be honest with you, man, it was nervousness because of some of the things that I did see in the absence of my dad. You know, some of the things I did involve myself in the absence of my dad. So, providing, just all kind of stuff came through my head. But I knew I had to figure out a way, an honest way for us to live. And, you know, I've always had this just drive and ambition to want to be somebody. So now that I got a kid, I was like, boy, I gotta jump. Okay, I already been working on the mission, and I gotta add other lives in it. So now it really has to happen. But I was excited too. It happened when I was 30. I waited all the way to 30. Ooh. I never, like, people used to say, you're not having kids and stuff like that. So at 30, I was like, okay, at least I'm a little better put together than I was 10 years ago. So I was ready for it. You know, and after hear that my first is a son. Yeah. My life crazy. I believe in like manifesting things. But I've always, when I have my first gonna be a son, and it happened like that. So I was excited. I was ready to take on, you know. But and one more thing, I always felt like it's an important task that I gotta raise somebody and send them in the world. So I feel like, you know, God, you know, I'm a super guy, so I feel like he appointed me this task, like, boom, now you gotta take care of raise somebody, turn them into somebody greater than you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that experience.
That right there, that's some good stuff, man. You know, I think that's one of those things. I like to ask people those questions because, you know, I never forget my time, you know, when my wife first told me I'm pregnant. I was like you say, kind of nervous, like, oh, shoot.
Right.
You know, and it was just like, you know, just kind of, you know, like where your mind take you at and the things that you will do for the people that you love, bro. It's like, now I'm finna be a daddy. Like, I got to get myself together, boy. Like, I got to really get on my grind, man. And that's one of them things that, for those that's out there, and it's funny that you say you was 30, because what I was 22, 23. I was 23.
I was hanging out.
Yeah, I was 23.
Ooh, I was hanging. I couldn't even imagine back then.
Yeah, I was 23 because I got married when I was 22. I was 22.
We were already married.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's why I always say, like, I always give a lot of respect to guys that ain't in situations like me. Like, I always look at my situation like it was quote unquote perfect.
Right.
But it's like, you know, I ain't have a child until, you know, I got married. You know, I moved my wife here, we got married, boom, then we had a child. And it's like, I ain't never had to experience some of the stuff that a lot of guys experience, like outside of my house, because of that reason. And I'm just always thankful. And I just like all I can do is give even that much more respect to guys that have these detrimental situations that they be in, but they still be like, man, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to make sure, you know, my family good.
But more respect, but respect to you as well, bro, because I'm sure a lot of us would want to do it like that beautiful way like that, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like for me, in timing wise, I'm just being real, but like I hadn't met that person to make us, you know what I'm saying? We married, we locked in, but I had always planned it like how yours is. That's the most beautiful thing out here, bro. That was a black family with kids and a wife, and come on, man, you don't want that. You crazy, you don't want that. You know, we grew up watching the Cosby Show and stuff like that. So I used to look up the cliff, man. For real.
No, that's real. That's real. So, what, you got 2, right?
Yep.
And what, both boys?
Nah, boy and a girl.
Got a boy and a girl.
3-year-old boy, 1-year-old girl.
3 and 1-year-old. Let's get on that topic. Ooh. The first 5 years. Of a child's life is their most important. I think they say if a child doesn't reach their milestones in their development by the time that they're 5, then they're gonna have problems going for the rest of their school career because they're behind on a lot of things. So those first 5 years are so important for children. A lot of people look at the first 5 years for women, especially after a woman has a child. You know, everybody always talks about postpartum depression and all that. You know, like, and that's a real thing. I watched my wife go through that, and to see the things, you know, especially when they have those kids close. You know, my last 2, maybe 11 months apart. We had my son in December 2015. I found out she was pregnant again in February 2016, and it was like, for her, she felt she was basically almost pregnant really for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
You know, going through all of that stuff that she had to go through, and you know, that's a known thing within women. I think the thing that people overlook is those first 5 years and that postpartum for dads. We go through so much. You know, you always hear things like women lose their identity after having children, which I totally believe that.
Me too.
But I look at I just really started realizing it last year within myself that when it came to my own life, I started looking at like, dang, my identity really is in being their dad or being my wife's husband. Like, that was my identity a lot of times. You know, people see me as, you know, I even saw myself almost like that. You know, I stopped hooping for a minute, stopped playing video games, all that, because it's like I'm so consumed with my role as a dad and as a husband to the point where at times I felt like, dang, I don't even do a lot of the stuff I used to like.
Bro, it be stuff I see, I forgot I did. I'm like, damn, I used to rap, man. I ain't wrote a flow in so long, but it's things that it just started falling wayside because everything else was so important that I had to kind of. But I started getting in that fight of like, I ain't about to just let it all consume me. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these things I do find joy in. Some of these things I do like know if I put my all into it, it could be our way out. So I had to find that balance in between making sure everybody good and doing what I need to do responsibly, but still being happy, bro. Still being want to be me, you know, right, bro. I think I went like 2 years not buying an outfit. I wasn't really getting haircuts. All of that stuff, bro. But yeah, bro, it's real talk. And I think we do look over it because this is just me speaking. I may be wrong. I think it get looked over a lot in our community because so many dads leave, and then so many dudes leave, and then they do leave these women to go through all of these things. And a lot of times when those dudes leave, I'm just being real. The women say this all the time, and sometimes we see it as some of our boys. The dudes get to hang out and keep doing whatever they want.
That's real.
Buy all the clothes you want, shoes you want, that type of stuff. So people don't really even know that it's guys who going through stuff because they gotta provide, or they feeling like this or feeling like that because they gotta put some clothes on somebody or buy Pampers but it's real though. It's very, very.
That's one of them things that I think, and I think too, we don't talk about it a lot of times, like for the men that do stay and they're going through it at times, we don't want to feel like, I'm being a punk.
Right.
I don't want to, talk about what I got going on. But we be going through it, like in our quiet times, they always say, a man be quiet, we got all type of stuff in our mind,
right.
We thinking about, I got these bills coming up, I got to make sure my baby's got this, and I know I ain't for somebody like me, I ain't been able to take my wife out in a couple of months,
right.
We just, and it's like, it ain't really start hitting me, really, like I said, until last year. And coming into this year, it's been one of our roughest years because I think too, for me and my wife, we had kids early and we got married early.
Yeah.
So we got married and had kids at a young age while we weren't established. If there would be one thing that I could take back from back then, like I think me and my wife could have waited. We've talked about this on multiple occasions. We would have waited. Still, we could have been together, but we could have waited until we were a little more established. Yeah. If we knowing the stuff we know now, we wouldn't have had to go through a lot of the struggle that we went through. Like I just got my bachelor's degree last December. And I'm 33. I was 32 at that time. 32 years old with 3 kids and a wife, right. Trying to work and provide for a family while getting a degree. It's doable,
yeah.
But that thing put so much of a strain on me, on my wife, just my house in general, bro. And it's like I talk to young cats now, and I'm like, bro, listen, boy, all this stuff doable. I'm living proof of it.
Right.
But if you can wait for certain things, and you will enjoy it even more. Like I've enjoyed marriage, but it's like I believe that there's so many things that we've missed over the years because of the fact that we weren't established. Like me and my wife just hit 10 years this year.
I can imagine too.
Man, bro, we should have been across seas somewhere doing something for our anniversary this year.
Right.
But because we still catching up on so many things, we can't
that's
enjoy
what I
it.
learned too, man, that this thing, like I even tell my baby mama, like my kid's mother, I was like, man, this whole thing like a business.
Yeah, real talk.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta be on the same page. We gotta set goals. We at the beginning of it, and there's so much that we want to accomplish individually for the kids together, and we gotta be like mindful on like the goals we set, what we do with our time, what we do with our money, and all that. Because I can, especially in y'all situation, I can imagine your early 20s. Man, you got to go in real. It's straight real now.
Straight up.
Got to raise kids, got a wife, so I can imagine, bro.
Yeah, what? It gets
real.
It gets real. What would you say up until this point? You 3 years in to fatherhood. What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you up until this point?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be all the way blood raw honest. The biggest challenge for me has been reading a lot of poison of things that I may have been taught in our community to know like it's real now. Like, do you want to teach somebody else the nonsense that like could end you in prison or end us dead? We see this. It sounds like a cliche, but we living in the real world. Like for real, bro. We've seen everything that happens to us, from the friends to the family. So now I'm like, bro, that can't be us. I don't want my son to die or go to prison, and I don't want him to be out here by himself without me, listening to some of y'all who ain't got no good sense. So now I have to be real and say, okay, boom, you gotta provide legally, man. You can't play out here, man. What you gonna do? Y'all have some money for a little while, get all the fun things, and then you go to prison, and then now they need you for 10 years. So, so the hardest thing for me is putting everything together as far as to provide legally and provide without all of the government assistance. Don't get me wrong, now it's certain things if I can get it, Cause I used to say that I wouldn't. Man, I don't need no food, and that's just like pride in me. Just being a black man who wanna. But when I seen like, okay, bro, this thing is real, and if it's things out there set up to help people get to the next level, then I wouldn't mind, a little help with some food stamps. But not having it, that make everything intense because no ELC with the daycare, no housing, you gotta buy all the groceries. So just turning my head to things that can make me money, but can send me 10 steps back and going to get the honest money. But the other thing about the honest money too, luckily I'm the type of young man who say, okay, I ain't got the mind frame to be like, I'm just gonna work this job forever. So at least I'm trying to plan how we can have we gonna have our own. I want to leave something to you, that type of stuff. But in the midst of putting that together, just kicking out, buying all this stuff, man. That grind. And it still gotta be a dad in between. You work 12 hours or 18 hours a day, you still gotta come home. Somebody roll on the wall. You feel me? You gotta fix a plate.
Boy, don't even remind me.
I'm ready.
Don't even remind me, boy. Come home, Joker's got lipstick all over the. Boy, when I tell you that's like one of the hardest things about but it teach me. It's one of the hardest things about being a dad, but it's also so teachable in the moments, is when you told your kids thousands of times, don't do this, don't do that, stop doing that, go, and they just continuously keep doing it. And then, now my kids are to the age where they can tell you, well, Daddy, you already told us that before anyway.
Right.
Well, you still doing it.
Right.
So obviously it ain't get through the first time, I got to say it again.
Right. Fast.
But it's like the thing that how it teaches me, and I always apply it to my spiritual life. Like I tell my kids, don't do X, Y, Z. They still do it. In my relationship with God, bro, certain things that I tell God, I ain't gonna do no more. Right. I ain't mean to do it this time. I said I wasn't gonna do it no more, but I keep going back. But God's still patient with me, bro. Still show me mercy. Still giving me the grace that I really don't deserve. And it just hit me in the moments like when I be deep in with them kids, boy, going in. And then I be like, damn.
What about you?
I can't even sit here in front. Then I try to, I be like, man, just go to your room, man.
Right.
You gotta be like, dang, boy, I can't really blame them because I'm the same way.
Right.
I do certain things, say certain things. I tell myself I'll be at work the whole time. Well, I ain't yelling at the kids nothing today, bro. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna do this. I'll be in my mind. I'm saying all that. Get home. But all that junk I just thought for the last 5 hours go out the window, and I'm back to down their throat, yelling at them and screaming and saying all type of stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, I just said I wasn't gonna do that when I got home.
Kid gonna break it out.
So it's like, I believe that being a dad at times can really teach us. Is why it's gonna teach you patience.
For sure.
It's gonna teach you how to, really be patient with people, even to be patient with yourself. You know, because I know that's something that I go through, and I want to ask you this: like, do you ever have those thoughts of, you know, I know at times, you know, I get so down on myself as a dad, and I know I've been in this a little longer, but it's like I get so down on myself, like just feeling like a failure as a dad.
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
And I'm talking, bro, I just eat myself alive inside to where like I ain't got no more confidence in myself because of past failures and feeling like this. Like, is that anything that you ever go through?
Yeah, for sure, bro. That's sometimes that's where my fire come from. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like that at times because it get real overwhelming. And then, like I said, you could be feeling like that, but it's still real life in the moment. So sometimes you be feeling like that. Where you finna go sit by yourself at?
Yeah.
For real, ain't no sit. I need some time for me. It ain't that.
Yeah.
No, for real, bro. I had times where I've even used the restroom for that. Like,
bruh,
go in the bathroom and sit on the toilet, like, get my mind
bro,
right.
that's it.
And then a hand come under the door, bro, and I'll be like, yeah, bro. But I think
Bro.
what helped me, bro, is just like, I just gotta. I grew up, bro, being locked up and stuff like that as a kid, bro. And I just got a real fire, bro. Like, I ain't perfect yet. I ain't perfect, but I just got a real fire about like what I see from us. You know what I'm saying? So even when I do be feeling like that, I'm like, man, you know what? I got so many people watching me, man. Even since I became a dad, bro, I've had other fathers in feeling how I'm feeling, right? Sometimes down, it's beating me, and then one of your homeboys say, man, you make me want to be a better dad, man.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? So in the moments of feeling like that, it's so much. Sometimes it just, excuse my language, it'll piss me off. Like, I can't let the world beat me like that. And then but I do all the time. I had to knock it off. I had to beat it off of that. You know what I'm saying? God,
It's real.
It's a story. It ain't all, this ain't the end, so I had to remind myself of those things, but I go through that all the time.
That's real.
Because, you know, I want all the paper right now.
Yeah.
I need like 10 years or something
Man, right now, God, if you hear me, I need you. But now that's real, you know, because I was talking with my wife a couple weeks ago about that, and she was like, that's just so weird to me because you never give that off to me. Like, you just seem so confident in what you do. And I'm like, I ain't saying I'm not. I'm just saying at times I have these moments where I don't feel like this. And I have to fight. It's a struggle to fight that thing off me, but I fight it. You know, like I don't allow it to beat me down or defeat me, but I'm just sharing with you, you my wife, and I just want to tell you at times, no, I don't be feeling like that. And sometimes I gotta even go as far as to trick myself in my mind, like you say, man, no, I ain't this, and I gotta self-talk. I gotta tell myself, man, come on, bro. You know, like even I just had the interview with Tay Diggs, and I was a little nervous before. I'm like, damn, like, that man up here, bro.
Right.
I'm like down here, like I'm a nobody,
right?
And I'm like, damn, I don't even know how I'm gonna get myself together. And then, you know, like right before I was finna do it, something came over me like, cuz, this is what you do.
Right.
You. Bro, like you, Anthony Ray, bro, like you, he take digs, but you.
Right.
Like, this ain't what he do, he is an actor. Bro, I'm a podcaster. I'm a person that I know how to sit down and I'm gonna have a conversation with people.
Right.
I'm gonna look at him just like he my dog from down the street.
Right.
We finna have a whole conversation, and if they let me, because I was originally really only supposed to have like 10 minutes with him. 10 to 15 minutes. I stretched that junk out to 28 minutes.
Right.
If I had it my way, I would have stretched it out to a whole album. I had to hold my tongue on a lot of stuff, but it was like, I'm gonna ask him questions and get him to just talk.
Right.
Like, that's all we doing. We having just a conversation. Like, his status don't mean nothing in this. Like, bro, we talking fatherhood. He a dad, just like me.
I'm sure he could probably appreciate just the that part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Like, man,
But he probably don't never have the conversations like this, like somebody who just talking to him about, man,
regular stuff.
How you doing? Like, how you mental health with taking care of a child? And how you know, he had problems sleeping and stuff. Asking him about that, just, I'm like, I had to really snap out of it. Like, bro, you gotta stop downing yourself and really look at yourself for who you are, bro. Like, bro, you have a gift, just like that man got a gift in his profession. That's what he does. He just probably got some millions in his bank account. You just don't. But outside of that,
sometimes for me, bro, it be the influence I've placed on other people before child fatherhood and even during fatherhood. That those people remind me, like, bro, you really cook. Why you want to go big? Yeah. So it be stuff like that too that I let, you know, feed the fire as well, man. Yeah, I definitely do, you know. And it's crazy because before now, I had a big head, bro. Yeah. I feel like I could do anything, be good at anything. Even walking into fatherhood, I knew I'd be a good dad.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for years. I used to date girls with sons and be.
Yeah.
So I never, you know, I always walked in everything super confident, but the world will show you some stuff, bro. Especially America.
Yeah.
America will show you what's what.
Yeah.
Especially if you spend a lot of time bull crapping.
Yeah.
And then you start being ready to really live in the real world, then it'll show you like, hey, yeah, that wasn't about nothing. You just wasted your time. Now you gotta really pay some taxes and make sure your credit's straight and feed these kids. So yeah,
that's real. And I want to say to any other man out there that might feel that way, I think the way that we get over some of that stuff sometimes is just finding another man that you could talk with. Call your boy, you know, sometimes for me, now this is a problem that I had last year. I was going through it, bro. I was going through it in my marriage real bad, like real bad. And I was coming up on my last couple I was getting ready to graduate, and I was just feeling just inadequate, bro. Just like, man, you doing all this junk for nothing, bro. Like, you just found myself doing things that I usually don't do.
Right.
I was just down on myself, bro. I was like, man, I'm finna call my dad, bro. And like, I ain't never called my daddy on no stuff like that, bro. Like, never, ever. Like, but it's like, I knew I had all these other people I could have called. Plenty of dudes. But I ain't want to talk to nobody else but my daddy. I'm like, I just need to hear from my pops, bro. Like, I need to hear out of his mouth. Like, I just need to call him. And bro, it's like almost 2 in the morning, bro. I called my pops. He answered the phone too. I was like, what's up, son? I was like, man, pops, but niggas need to talk, bro. And he was like, you alright? I was like, nah, bro, I ain't alright, bro. And I'm like, you know them times when you call me and you be asking for prayer and all that. It's my turn, bro. Like, I need that. Right. And he went to ask me what I had going on. I went to tell him, and he was so surprised. He was like, bro, I didn't even know you even be going through all that. I thought you got it all going on. I say, nah, pops. I say, I don't really talk to you like that about these type of things because I know you ain't really been through a lot of the stuff. Right. My dad ain't raised his kids. Right. You know, my dad, he was married for a quick second, but he wasn't like this. Right. You know, and I'm just like, I be feeling like you ain't gonna understand, but I'm like, I just want to call you. Right. And when I say that boy gave me some real bad advice,
boy, I thought you might say the opposite. Come on, man.
Listen, but I understood him though.
Right.
Like I say, he ain't been in these positions like this. He don't really know. So his advice is just coming from his perspective. But I needed to hear all that. Like, and he was just like, boy, you a good nigga. Boy, you a good ass nigga, boy. boy, man, tell her she can go. All this, and I'm like, nah, Pops, I ain't really trying to go that route, Pops. You know, I ain't really
Right.
You know, but it felt good for me to know that my Pops loved me, like,
For sure.
you know, and he was just like, boy, you a good nigga, and this and that, and boy, I don't care what nobody say, boy, you my son, and I love you. And he go, when I tell you the man going off, and it was like, but he did say one thing that I took from the whole conversation. He said, when I got married around the same age you got married at 22, 23, and he said, when I divorced my wife, that was probably the worst thing. He was like, bro, I've been strung out ever since then.
Damn.
He was like, that was like one of the worst decisions I probably could have ever made. If you really look at it, statistics say that men take divorce harder than women.
That was what from Mom Dukes?
From one of my brothers.
Okay.
And he was just like, you know that I took it real hard, and he was like, you know, my pops just finally got clean a couple of years ago, but he was on that for about a good 25 years, bro.
That's tough, bro.
And you know, so hearing that, I was like, dang,
That's tough.
maybe that's what I needed to hear from this whole conversation.
Right.
And bro, it just really helped me to talk with my dad and to hear him say all the stuff he said. Like I said, it was real bad advice and stuff he was telling.
Right.
Good thing I know what
to take.
I know. So it's like I already know the advice really I needed, but I just need to talk with my pops.
It's crazy, like when I'm hearing what your dad, the stuff you were saying your dad said, and you tell me like you just told me a little bit just about like Pop being in prison before and that. So I think, cause my dad when we talk, he gonna big me up every time.
Yeah.
So I think like since we doing something that they didn't do, we can't really do too much wrong in their eyes.
Yeah.
So even when it be tough for me, I call him and I be, man, bro, it's this and that, man, you doing good, man.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody. And I might feel like everything just tore up over here, but he always assured me every time, bro, you doing good, bro. You raising your kids, you doing what you need, you staying out of trouble, man. You doing great. And then when I look back, I'm like, he spent these years of his life in the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying, without me. So, yeah, he gonna be big. I think they just so proud of us, bro.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah, bro. And it is, sometimes you need that, bro. You know, I need, usually, like I said, I ain't even call my pops and I'm going through that type of stuff. I got men that I know, like, brothers, like, boy, if I call him, my dog gonna keep it 100 with me every time, like my boy Robert Frazier.
Right.
If I call my boy Robert gonna assess the situation.
Right.
If I'm wrong, he gonna say, Sean, you tripping.
Straight up.
You tripping, bro. And nah, bro, you can't. And I can fight him, bit. Nah, bro, you wrong on that. And he gonna tell me why. You know, X, Y, Z. You know, bro, I think you should have boom, boom. Or, well, when you said that, how she felt about that? Or how you feel about her saying? And he gonna walk me through that thing, and I'll be like, I see what you saying, bro. I like, yeah, you know, you right. And he get me right every time, because it's like, you got to have them people in your corner that's gonna be non-biased. So when you going through it, you know, you got to have, even if it's just one person that you know that's gonna always be unbiased with you, let you know, nah, bro, I see what you're saying at that point, you right there, but on this other part over here, bro, like, you should have never said that, bro.
I got a few of them. I got about 3 of them. I call you at the minute. She might sometimes be thinking stuff be going on with her.
Yeah.
Man, I call one of my boys, or really the guys that I do call, they kind of like my brothers. You know, we middle school, that type of stuff. But yeah, I won't hesitate. I go sit out there on those staff, man, and just talk about life or tell bro how I'm feeling, and it's good. It's to be a dad and experiencing some of the stuff that I'm experiencing. It's good to have like those family members and those friends that could kind of pick you up or kind of remind you what's what, or put you in your place at times. So those do help me out a whole lot. They real valuable to everything I have going on. Cause I be needing to vent.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, like you said, sometimes I might need somebody to. I don't know. I need somebody to put me in check with.
Yeah.
You know, when you boys keep it real with you, that's what they there for, you know.
Straight up. Got to have it. My last question here, man. If you could sit down with the 18-year-old version of Brandon, how me and you doing right now,
Yeah.
and talk with that young man face to face, knowing everything that you know right now,
Yeah.
and give that young man one piece of advice going forward, what would you tell him?
Man, I'll tell him everything about the streets do not matter. You want to be a strong, smart black man, able to move around in this world, and be able to move around with your chest out and look any other race eye to eye, or have a decent conversation, or you know. But you want to be a strong black man. You don't, all that street stuff don't matter. You gonna end up in the penitentiary or dead. To be honest with you, I got saved that a light bulb went off at some point anyway, but at 18 it hadn't went off yet. So at 18 I was trying to, you know what music and movies in our community do to you. I was trying to be a hot boy or something. Yeah. But I'll tell them that, man. America, like, it's a real place. You want to survive, bro. You're gonna have to do some of the right things, because they got some stuff set up for you. Stop you in your tracks, and your life will be over. Whether if you're still alive and it's over, cause you got to wake up every day, or you will be dead at the hands of one of your friends or your neighbor. So man, focus, be smart, try to educate yourself. That type of stuff.
That's real. That's some good advice for anybody out there.
For sure. Take that advice, young man, please. That's why we having this podcast. That's why we doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. I appreciate it. Just even hearing, some of the back and forth. Yeah, it was something that another dad needed, that God working in mysterious ways, So I appreciate that, bro.
Straight up. If you for any other dads out there might be listening, if you want to give anything else to them, any advice?
Man, the advice I want to give is if you're a dad, man, take that job serious, man. Cause you gotta I always put it in a nutshell like this. You gotta build some people up and send them into the world. So those people, it sound far-fetched, but those could be the next doctors or lawyers, or people could save your life for it. But you don't want to send your kids out there half equipped for somebody to run circles around them. So educate your kids, make sure they have everything they need, make sure you're talking with them, smiling with them, having fun with them, but take it serious. It is a real, and they need us, and they need you. So if you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna say this for real. A lot of my partners ain't even gonna agree. Hey man, if you're doing something wrong, you gotta figure it out, bro, because what your kids gonna do without you, bro. So you might have all the money in the world to buy them all kind of shoes and clothes right now, but if you got to go do 10 years, the kids gonna be out here 10 years without you being on this. So you gotta make a decision. But that's it, bro.
About as real as it's gonna get.
For sure.
We don't want.
We gotta save our community,
man,
bro.
We got to do that. I mean, as hard as it might be at times to hear that type of stuff, this is the type of stuff we got to be able to tell each other, because we losing too many young men right now at the rate that it's going, especially just right here in Gainesville. It's ridiculous, man. I've seen too many young men, and I know some of them. I know a lot of them. The young guys got kids,
Right.
And I'm just like, God, you 20 years old, boy, you finna go do 15. Boy, you ain't gonna get out till you 35, bro.
Man, I faint when people tell me something like that. Boy, y'all harder than me. Yeah, for facts. I've even seen, before we go, bro, even on that same line, I've brushed shoulders with some of these dudes one day, and the next day they did. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
Even being older than them, that still kind of do something to me. It make me see my son, stuff like that. So
crazy, boy.
Yeah.
But hey, It's only everybody got their choices they got to make. I'm just praying that if there's any dad that listen to this, I pray that we the ones that make the good decisions, and that we're there for our children. At times, yeah, it might be a struggle. I know money be wild. You ain't got to tell me about that, man. I can go a whole thing about that right now.
That's great money.
But it's like, you know, at the end of the day, we got to keep first thing first. We got to keep ourselves free physically, mentally. We got to free ourselves of them chains, man. Too many of us in our community we ain't behind bars physically, but we behind bars in here. And that's why we make a lot of the choices that we make, because we so shackled up and we're in bondage mentally, bruh, spiritually. And it's a hard thing to make good decisions for yourself and for your family when you're in bondage mentally and spiritually, bruh. We got to do something. We got to connect with other men that can help us to be free, because that's the type of stuff we need, man. We got to look out for each other. If I got knowledge, I need to be giving it to bruh. If bruh got knowledge, you need to be giving it to somebody else. We have to help each other out here in this world, because it's as honest as we can be. America is not set up for us to be successful or to do anything good. It's set up for us to fail, man. So, you know, yeah, there's people who we know, some people know loopholes and all this. We got to tap into this knowledge and be able to help one another, man, because time really running out. You know, it ain't getting no better out here. You know, so we got to prepare ourselves so that we can prepare our children for what's coming, and we got to be able to stick together when times get hard, man. So
we got to live together.
Got to.
Our kids got to grow up together and go to school together. We got to say hey, because the kids know. So it's still, we in this thing together. As crazy as people want to look at it, but that's the truth, though.
Straight up, huh? Straight up. So, hey, man, y'all know that's kind of stuff. If y'all want to really get on some real stuff, please go find the podcast, Men Can We Talk podcast on YouTube. That's my other podcast. On that podcast, we get into a little more. We can go a little more in depth on some of that stuff, but y'all go check that out, man, because we got to have these conversations in our community amongst men, and that's another thing that we try to do on that podcast over there. But this for the dads, man, we got to be here for our children. Ain't no ands, ifs, or buts about it. We have to be there for our children, man. It ain't
no question.
Ain't no question about it. You know, like, our children need us. Like, I think about leaving my kids right now. My son, 6 years old. I couldn't imagine my baby being out here without me. I can't imagine my daughters, bruh, man. Listen, boy, I'm gonna just start talking before we get on that, cause boy, it's too much. Yeah. Like I don't even like to think about it. But boy, yeah. So, man, y'all listen, man. This shit was a good one, bro.
Yeah,
for real.
I appreciate it.
I needed this.
I loved this. Yes, sir.
I really did need this, and I always say, every time I sit down with somebody, I get something, man. Right. You know, so I definitely got a lot out of this. I'm gonna leave this encouraged, knowing that I'm gonna go home to my babies, and I just gotta be better, be even better dad. You know,
you did that for me too, bro.
Straight up, straight up. And that's what we got to be for one another. So, y'all know what to do, man. Y'all can find this episode streaming. It'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts. You can go to the website where you can just get straight to it, www.dadcanwetalk.com. All the episodes are streaming there, the audio versions of it. You can donate to the podcast there. The YouTube page is connected there. The social media pages are connected there. You can find everything there at dadcanwetalk.com. Y'all continue to support. Y'all continue to stay tuned, man. Beginning of the year, I'm trying to do something big with all the dads, man. So y'all continue to stay tuned to that, man. But this is episode 94 of Dad Can We Talk. And guess what? We up out of there. Peace.
take the